That intro music was hitting a little different tonight. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Charm City Sideline Podcast. I'm Zach, and on your right is Brad, my co-host. And today, we're previewing the Rams coming into Baltimore. 3-2 Rams, I should say, against the 1-4 Ravens. Brad, what's your thoughts for a little... we might get some help back. What are you thinking for this game?
Yeah, there are going to be some players returning from injury. My initial thoughts going into this game is just let's show some effort. Let's not look like we did against the Texans. What was it, 44-10 against the Texans? You have all these reports going out about Ravens thought it was going to be their get-right game against Houston, even without Lamar Jackson. I think they sort of thought that they were going to come together and play as a team, without having to rely on Lamar sort of saving you and scoring 40 points. And obviously did not happen. So, we're obviously going to talk about this a lot, but, this is just sort of a game where it's going to be raining going into the bye after this. Just like if they don't get blown out, I think that's a win, honestly.
I agree. Like, just don't be totally sputtering into the bye week. Show some life. That's what we're asking for. It's not a lot. And I hope that some of the names that are coming back will be a part of that. But before we get into it, we'd really appreciate if you guys would subscribe. We're trying to go to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're just a little bit above 800. We appreciate you guys getting us there. Mm-hmm. We also have memberships, $2.99 a month. You can join and be part of the all-pro team, as we call it here. Priority in the chat and in the Q&As. Pretty good deal, I'd say. Brad, what are you thinking about what's different for the Rams? We know about how absolutely nuclear Puka Nacua is going. I would say that is different about them. But what do you notice about this Rams team so far?
So obviously there was some concern about Matthew Stafford earlier in the offseason, whether he would be on the Rams or not. I know the Steelers wanted him. I know obviously a lot of teams probably were inquiring about him. Rams got an extension done, and they also replaced Cooper Kupp with Davante Adams, a move that I think has definitely worked out for them so far. Mm-hmm. Signed a nose tackle, Poona Ford, from the other LA team. He probably didn't even have to move apartments or houses wherever he was. He's been really good this year. Very underrated player for the sole fact that he's a shorter guy for a defensive lineman, but he's really, really good. I think he's like 5'10", maybe 5'11", but he's a really good player. No first-round pick, as always, which it seems like for the Rams. Their second-round pick was Terrence Ferguson, a tight end out of Oregon. He was injured in camp, so hasn't really gotten up to speed yet. He's been playing a little bit. And then their third-round pick was Josiah Stewart, a guy that Zach and I talked about a little bit in the pre-draft process out of Michigan. He'd been playing about 25 to 35% of their snaps so far. He's made a couple plays, but that's sort of what you're looking at this offseason from the Rams. Obviously, Puka Nacua just continuing to have an insane season. And I think Davante Adams, like I mentioned, is for sure an upgrade over what was a bit of an aging Cooper Kupp, despite having the Triple Crown not too long ago.
Yeah, and then now it looks like Puka's on pace to take that as well. Maybe not touchdown-wise, but receptions and yards. It's well above that kind of range for them. Let's check up some matchup history here. December 2023, the last time we played him. Most of us remember this one. Ravens win 37-31 in overtime. That was a Tylan Wallace all-purple jersey punt return. Yeah. Some Tylan Wallace magic. 2021, Rams won 20-19. That was a Tyler Huntley game, and we basically lost on a 2-point conversion failure. 2019, that was a fun game. You'll remember that score was 45-6, and like you noted, the first Jackson 5, and the Ravens lead that series all time 6-3, which doesn't feel like as comfortable as usual given what this team is going through right now. But 6-3, those games won, besides 2021, are like not dominating for the 2023 one, but so memorable, so like powerful wins. You would think that we would have this big edge over them if everyone was healthy and maybe coaching staff was playing up to par. But right, totally different. And the Rams look like a juggernaut. They did lose though last week to a battered up, beaten up Niners with a ton of backups. That's not to say that they would kind of fall on their own sword and not play at 100%, but the Niners are just a good coached team. Like, they have good backups, good depth. Like, what can the Ravens do for maybe just looking at the backup history or the matchup history? And also, what do you think that the Ravens could do with the backups to hang in a game like this?
I really don't know. Like, they're gonna have to play with a ton of effort and really, rally the troops. It's probably gonna be raining or at least bad weather.
Wow.
So that usually helps the worst team. Obviously, in this case, the Ravens are the worst team. But this is sort of the same exact spot for the Rams 2 weeks in a row. I almost said going on the road 2 weeks in a row, but it just looked like they were on the road last week because the whole crowd was wearing red in LA. But 2 games in a row against very injured teams. Obviously, they lost last week, and they're not going to want this to happen again. So it's definitely going to be tough sledding for the Ravens. If the Rams do lose, though, their fans are going to be in shambles. I've seen a couple Rams fans, supporters saying that they hope this is their get-right game, obviously. It was the Texans' get-right game last week, so
yeah,
they need this one. Obviously, the Ravens need it more, but it's going to be tough for Baltimore here.
Yeah, I agree, man. Ravens are sorry, not Ravens.
I'm
used to saying that.
Yeah.
Rams are favored by 7.5 points with an over-under of 44.5. And this game is on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews. That's their premier group. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure they were thinking differently of this game, but it's funny that even then they didn't really switch them out. Weather, like you mentioned, chance of rain, cloudy, and low to mid 60s. Good football weather. Rams are wearing all white. Ravens, purple and black. Look at that little note by you with the little uniforms there. Didn't you have purple on black as one of your favorites, if not your favorite? Was that right?
Yeah, purple jersey, black pants is probably my third favorite combo. Kind of sucks that they're wearing it without Lamar. My second favorite combo is black jersey, white pants. Maybe it's my top. Like, black jersey, white pants just look sick. And they don't really wear it anymore. They wore a ton in the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed era. I don't know, man. It looks really good when they wear that combo, but not recent. Yeah.
What I find interesting talking about the announcers, I believe JJ Watt was on some show, maybe it was Pat McAfee show, and JJ talked about how absolutely horrific the Ravens looked.
Yeah.
Thought compared it to a preseason game. JJ Watt is a all-pro, all-time level defensive player. And calling that game, and it's a blowout too. I mean, sure, you're going to think that team played bad and all. But what does someone like Tom Brady talk about in a game like this if it does turn bad? I'm just so interested about his thoughts because of someone that has won so much, compared to a JJ Watt. Sure, he's a great player. He didn't win as much as Tom Brady. Not really many can say that. So can you give us a little breakdown on the injury news? I think there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for the Ravens here.
Yeah, so in terms of the Rams, obviously not much because every team the Ravens are playing currently doesn't have too many injuries. Their right tackle, Rob Havenstein, doesn't look like he's going to play unless he practices on Friday. Oh. He's a DNP twice so far this week with an ankle injury, so we could be looking at backup Warren McClendon Jr. at right tackle for the Rams if Havenstein cannot go. Their starting tight end, Tyler Higbee, was not participating on Wednesday, but he was limited on Thursday. So he'll probably going to play. And then there's a few other guys that are limited, no crazy contributors. So that's what you're looking at for the Rams. Ravens. So guys still not practicing. Lamar, Ben Cleveland was undisclosed today. Not sure. Maybe he's sick, maybe personal issue. Roquan and then Awuzie all did not practice on Thursday. Ricard returned. Marlon Humphrey returned. So Ricard is obviously very good news. I'd be shocked if he plays because he hasn't practiced since what? Did he even practice in training camp? Like, I'm not exactly sure when the injury happened, but even I don't think Ricard should play. Humphrey, we'll see about Friday whether he practices or not. I mean, not or not, but whether he's full or limited. Again, and then also Kyle Hamilton, Zay Flowers, Joe Noteboom, Roger Rosengarten, Ronnie Stanley, and Tez Walker all practicing. So it's looking good. You're most likely only going to be missing Lamar, Roquan, Awuzie, and Ricard, and maybe Marlon. So, and obviously Matabike, which sucks. But not terrible. A lot better than last week, I will say.
Yeah, a lot more positive. And what we're kind of underrating is in the press conference where Harbaugh did say the update about Ricard. If this news had came out and we didn't hear that, we would have been like, oh, whoa, maybe he could play. Maybe he is for sure back by, week 8. But this is such just a positive note. We wanted to see, like I mentioned before, light at the end of the tunnel. Like yeah. I'm uplifted by seeing those names, at least limited. I know that even last week we had some limited and then did not practice, and limited again and they didn't play, or limited and did not practice and didn't play, whatever it was. And seeing that, what a great positive note. I appreciate that, getting us back in the right direction. X's and O's. The Rams offense versus our Ravens defense. This would be the most concerning. I mean, both are concerning now, but Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, Matt Stafford, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Again, it's just not a team you want to play if you're this kind of defense struggling right now. This is, like I mentioned in the Q&A, it's nightmare material. It is awful, like, to think about for our team that's struggling so much. And like I mentioned at the beginning about our team sputtering in, this would be the caliber of superstars and team and a coach to fully knock us out before we get back up on our feet. So what are you thinking for this side of the football, though?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can point to. Obviously, Matthew Stafford's having a great year. I guess maybe a little bit surprisingly after what he was dealing with his back.
Yeah.
All of training camp, didn't really practice at all. He's the leader in passing yards in the NFL right now with over 1,500, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 107 rating. Kyren Williams having a pretty good year, 368 yards, 4.5 yards a carry. Puka Nacua, 588 yards in 5 games, 52 receptions. I'm not the best at math, Zach, but I believe he's on pace for 176 catches this year, which, real quick, I'm sorry, I got to look up the record because that is insane.
Yeah, those stats are just absurd. And to counter, not counter, but add on to it with how incredible Stafford is with his number one, and given the Calvin Johnson, given the Cooper Kupp, both having, ridiculous seasons, and now Puka's on that trajectory.
Yeah.
What kind of hope can we have? What did you find for the numbers?
Oh, Michael Thomas in 2019. I forgot about that. 149. So
wow. Yeah,
that is Michael Thomas was insane that year, unguardable. And Nacua is on pace for exactly 1,999 yards right now. So you would assume he's not going to have 176 receptions. That would be absurd. I mean, breaking the record by 27 catches. So that's insane. And then obviously Adams is having a good year. I think some people have maybe thought he was a bit washed. I think he's in a similar spot in his career as Derrick Henry maybe was last year, where it's like some people think you're washed, but in reality you have 2 to 4 good years left. Because he was on the Raiders, then he was on the Jets. Adams has 357 yards and 3 touchdowns through 5 games this year. Rams O-line, large contrast here in terms of the run game and the pass game. Number 1 O-line in the league in terms of run blocking, according to PFF, with an 80.7 grade. and then 29th in pass blocking, according to PFF, with a 46.7 grade. So I guess the first thing we could talk about is, can the Ravens stop the run and force the Rams to pass the ball? Not that Matthew Stafford has been bad or even average, but just the fact that maybe you could get some pressure instead of getting leaned on in the run game all day.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I nothing positive. And it's interesting you give up Owe and then we can question this stuff because like you just showed me before we started recording this, I think Owe led us in pressures too. Like pressure
Yeah.
in general and stopping in the run game, neither has been a factor. So I wonder what the strategy, the mindset's going to be for the Ravens defensively. You know, maybe Gilman's playing, CJGJ's out there, maybe called up. I think that's a good side to pay attention to. Sure, the Rams are going to score at least 30 on us, it feels like. But how do the Ravens show life like we're asking for, if any? Last week, you would have thought that was the opportunity to do it, and you don't at all. Now it's definitely a step up for an opponent, and we're asking the same question. How in the world can you not be a little negative about it, and especially on this side? So that'll be an interesting topic.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are just going to have to blitz a lot. Like, I don't know if they are discovering this, but I think Ravens fans and film watchers have sort of thought over the last couple of weeks, like, they're so scared of getting beat over the top. They've been playing too high so often after what happened early last year. Like, their front seven is not good enough to play too high and allow teams to dink and dunk because they're just giving up 10 play touchdown drives every single time. So I think you just kind of got to go down swinging. And if they score 60-yard touchdowns, they score 60-yard touchdowns. You were going to give up a long drive anyway. So maybe try to force some turnovers, get some picks, maybe get a strip sack. Rams are 13th in EPA per play on offense. So pretty average there, but they're third in success rate. They play a lot of 11 personnel. If anyone doesn't know, that is 3 receivers on the field, 1 running back, 1 tight end. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua are obviously going to be on the field almost the whole entire game, and Jordan Whittington and Tutu Atwell are sort of their other guys that mix in there. They run 11 personnel, the second most in the NFL, 78% of the time. So Ravens are going to be in nickel and dime a lot. We're probably going to see Gardner Johnson and Alohi Gilman in the game a lot if both of them are activated. I would expect Starks and Gilman back deep, or Starks and Gardner Johnson back deep with Hamilton in the box, or, rotating everyone around. Maybe Gardner Johnson will play some nickel. Maybe they'll have Gardner Johnson and Hamilton near the line of scrimmage. Who knows? But hopefully a lot of simulated pressures, trying to get pressure on the Rams. You mentioned, Zach, that Owe leads the Ravens in pressures, who they obviously just traded away to the Chargers. The Ravens have 86 total pressures, which is 13th in the NFL. I tweeted this out. The Ravens are last in sack percentage. I believe they're at 2.9%, and the league median is around 6%. So they are not sacking the quarterback right now. I mean, that is terrible. Owe has 16 pressures this year. Madubuike has 12. Madubuike played 2 games, and he is second on the Ravens in pressures. Tavius has 12, Van Noy has 8, Mike Green has 7. So the Ravens are just going to need to blitz. Like, you're just going to need to blitz, especially on third down, and try to take advantage of Havenstein possibly being out. Maybe Mike Green can get some pressure, get something going on a backup right tackle. Who knows? But we'll see, man. Mike Green's going to be my X factor for the Ravens in this one. We didn't see him play too much against the Bills in the first game of the season, but since then he's played over 60% of snaps in every game. So he's been on the field a lot. I think they trust him. And if they don't trust him, they just want to get him acclimated because he's playing a ton. We'll see if he can get something going on a Rams pass blocking unit that has struggled this year.
Yeah, I'm to not really go off topic, but to talk about the Ravens defense. Whenever we were getting all those sacks last year and still, as Harbaugh has alluded to, like this manufacturing of sacks, you have Matabike to take up so much of the eyes of the O-line and the quarterback that it felt like it freed up everyone else. Maybe a double team was taken away. There has to be an addressing of an interior lineman, I'd think. Yeah, you can go find a star pass rusher if one's available. I doubt it. But until there is a real, someone worded it really well. It might have been Justin. Someone like using resources, just in our
Yeah.
Q&A, using resources, a high priority resource at interior wise. Like, I'm worried we're not going to see the pressure. Well, we might see the pressures. We might not see the sack production that we do. We might be stuck here without any help. You just gave up your top pressures guy and you lost your second most, like you said, through 2 weeks with an injury. So I have no hope in this department. And if you show blitzes that much, you can bet every dollar you own that Puka Nacua is going to hit every over there is for the sports books, 10 plus catches, 100 plus yards, whatever. Those guys are going to rock. And I'm just scared, with going into this bye, making the right move or an adjustment or coaching change, whatever it is. That is such a big priority, the interior right now, and fixing it, because we're not seeing any signs of life there like we've been alluding to this whole time. And oh man, that's just a big circle for me. I think honestly, for an X factor for me, the Ravens secondary, mostly the safeties, I'd say would be mine, because I have confidence in Kyle Hamilton, obviously, but nothing from Starks has shown star caliber play yet. There hasn't been the, oh my gosh, Malachi Starks, he's arrived, anything like that. Sure, it's been 5 games, but I'm waiting to see the big play. And if Hamilton moving up does create a little more chaos and it opens up, I think, what was the first pass of the entire year?
He almost picked
Defended
it up.
against, right. Like, we could have had such a different conversation about him, but right now the fan base is kind of torn. It's 50-50 about whether to call this, a bad pick, or whether to call this, give him some time. It's still a rookie. We're giving him the same kind of leash as we would a Mike Green right now. But I just want to see it play. I want to see it play from those rookies stepping up. I think we're about that time of year where they're comfortable. Like, they're not in shoes that are like uncharted territories right now. There's not anything you haven't seen. You haven't seen Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, but you have time now to try extra stuff. You're not playing all in kind of poker right now. It's you have a real chance to make some plays, and they're going to really need them. And I point towards the safeties, because we take them in high court. We're expecting Gilman to be a starting level guy for the rest of the year, and hopefully CJGJ makes some plays too. Is that all you got to add for this side of the ball?
Just to add on to what you were saying, Nate Wiggins said last year that he sort of got acclimated and sort of figured out what he was doing week 6, week 7. So, that is, we're right in line here with Starks and Green. I also will say, I don't think I would call anyone a bust until halfway through their second season.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, like I think you got to give these guys a ton of time, especially defensive players. I believe it's harder for them than like a receiver, but then even Quentin Johnston on the Chargers having a breakout year in year 3 right now. So
good call.
You can't really say anything about these guys yet. I know Devin Lloyd is really bursting onto the scene right now. He's in year 4, year 5, inside linebacker for the Jags, 99-yard pick 6 on Mahomes. So it takes time for these guys. Last thing for me, Kyren Williams is going to be my X factor for the Rams. Against the Niners last week on Thursday Night Football, 8 catches, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns, actually. So Trent Simpson, Teddy Buchanan, be ready for the running back out of the backfield. I would love for your guy, Jay Higgins, to play in this one. I think, why not? you're gonna lose anyway. Like, just play. You know what I mean? Like, just see what Jay Higgins can do, and if he
Why
plays really
not?
well, you could have Roquan and Higgins next to each other for the rest of the year. I'm just saying, Buchanan and Simpson looked pretty lost in against Houston. But yeah, we can move to the other side of the ball now.
Yeah, it'll be quick here for my Rams offensive X factor. I wasn't going to say Puka because I think that's just too obvious, and Kyren is a good pick because he was involved so much in the passing game last week. Devontae is my name because of how he knows this Ravens defense. Last year, we can still have nightmares about Brock Bowers and him smacking us in the mouth. So I think that that's a big one to name for the Rams because if he gets going too, I mean, they might put up 40. Like I was saying 30 a bit ago, this is a top tier NFL offense right now. Statistics wise, looks wise, it passes all the tests. Let's flip it though. Maybe a little more light on this side. Maybe. I don't know. Ravens offense versus the Rams defense. Rams defense, you kind of know them for their pressures right now. I think their edges, kind of some star guys right now. But Ravens offensively, last week was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's, I don't know how to put this very lightly. I love Derrick Henry. It's not really on him. Like
It's not.
sure.
It's not.
And along with that though, that makes me want to bash back on it. He is like the all-time one, if not the all-time best, one of the all-time best at yards after contact. You would think that if you got him in open field, even for a little, that he can get more than 1 or 2 yards a carry, and that's all he could get last week.
I think he's still like top 5 in yards after contact. I mean, like he's running into a brick wall.
Yeah, there's no running lanes that are obvious. And even then, if they were a little obvious, maybe for a smaller guy like Justice Hill or Keaton Mitchell, they're not for a Derrick Henry, who's as big as all the linemen out there. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking towards him. I'm going to keep calling him my Ravens X factor offensively until we see that, because I do want to point at the offensive line, but you could say that last year that was where they excelled the most. Sure, Lamar was there and it added the element of a different guy taking off with it. But even in Tennessee days, and they didn't have the best offensive lines, they got Derrick Henry going. And it wasn't with the best quarterback or a quarterback that was elusive and able to take it out of Henry's hands.
Yeah.
So I want to see the Ravens show life there too. Like, I don't think that's a major ask either. Like, Derrick Henry's good and he's still an elite running back in the league, but we've not given him the opportunity, the right opportunities to be that guy yet. And that just bums me out. We could probably be sticking in games if we were able to get 3 yards a carry, not even the 2 or less that we saw last week. And also a total mishap with not involving Keaton Mitchell and Justice as much. You saw that one run last week from Keaton where he gets that edge, and it looked like he was going 500 mile an hour. Like, I just want to see some stuff like that where we're giving guys opportunity and space. What are you thinking for this side of the ball?
Yeah, I'm not going to rant about the interior offensive line because I did that on Tuesday night.
For you. Yeah, good for you.
I hope they play someone else. Like,
Emory Jones was full participant, right?
Maybe Emory Jones, Corey Bullock, or Ben Cleveland. Like, I don't care. I think you should give Emory Jones until after the bye. You don't want to throw him in there after 1 week of practice. And he's a terrible game, but like, just try Bullock, try Cleveland. I think there could be a bit of a spark with Bullock. Cleveland might be a little bit better than Falele and Voorhees, but still, Ben Cleveland has played games where he's looked good. Just with the offensive line, just these guys are not as good as they were last year. Rosengarten, not as good as he was last year. Voorhees played week 18 against the Browns, looked really good. He's been bad. So that's tough. Do you think there's any chance the Ravens play Tyler Huntley? Because when Harbaugh's asked about him in the pressers, he, like, doesn't shut it down. He kind of is you know what I mean? I'm
It's on
not
the
saying they're
cards.
going to. If I I would bet money that Cooper Rush is gonna be the starter,
Mhm.
but, we might see some Tyler Huntley in this one. I mean, he can run. He doesn't really have, deep passing in his game,
Right.
but, I think he could help the run game a lot and help, the offensive line a lot in the passing game, being able to run around a little bit. So we'll see. It's probably gonna be Rush, but who knows?
Um,
Um,
to make a comparison, how the Steelers used Justin Fields last year as almost a gadget guy. How the
yeah.
Saints use a Taysom Hill, that's kind of a little more of a stretch, but involving talented guys in an offense that just has no real sparks, what does
Mhm.
it hurt? Put
I
him
know.
in there for an
I
option,
know.
and if he gets 5 yards, the defense is like, wait, they can do that. It's just throwing freaking curveball every once in a while.
Yeah.
We're just throwing them
Yeah.
straight down the middle, and they're crushing them. So
N
figure it out. Get a little spark in there, right?
Yeah, and, like, you got nothing to lose right now. Like,
No.
last week, the Ravens' first drive of the game, I think they had, like, a 4th and 3 at the 5 or at the 8 or something like that, and they kicked a field goal. I was like,
Yeah, me
"Why?"
too.
I was like, you're playing with a backup quarterback. You got no one healthy on defense. Like, just go for it." Like, I was kinda perplexed. Um, so I wanna see more aggressiveness from Harbaugh in the decision making. 2, on the offensive side of the ball, go for it on 4th and 5, go for it on 4th and 3 in the red zone. Rams defense has been pretty average to slightly above average so far this year. They're 15th against the run, 11th against the pass in terms of EPA per play. Um, we mentioned Derrick Henry. One more stat on him: 4 games in a row with 50 or fewer rushing
Ugh,
yards.
yuck.
Obviously not good. The strength of the Rams defense is their pass rush. They are third in the NFL with 99 pressures. Um, I'd say the secondary is their weakness. I don't know if I'd call it a weakness, but Emmanuel Forbes, one of their outside corners, has been struggling, according to NFL Pro. 157 yards allowed in coverage on third down, which is the second most in the NFL. Forbes struggled in Washington, and I think he's been a little bit better in LA, but still obviously giving up a lot of yardage on big third down situations. But man, this Rams pass rush, like I just mentioned, Byron Young has been insane. Their third year edge rusher out of Tennessee. His PFF grade is 85.5. He's five and a
Wow.
half sacks in 5 games, Zach. Like, that is insane. 29 tackles and a forced fumble. And then obviously Jared Verse, defensive rookie of the year. Their other edge rusher. So they got Byron Young and Jared Verse, 2 absolute game wreckers right now. Sometimes he will line up inside in passing situations, Jared Verse, that is. So good luck, Falele. Good luck, Voorhees, or any other guard that's playing, because Jared Verse can do that too. And then Puna Ford, also probably the most underrated nose tackle in the league. So this Rams front is probably going to give the Ravens O-line some trouble. I'd say the Texans front is still better with Anderson and Hunter, but this is 2 weeks in a row now. You're facing a top tier edge
Yeah,
tandem.
that's what I was going to add. That it's similar to the Texans, just
Mm-hmm.
without as much credibility, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, that's equally as nervous because that's what really shut it down. The
Mm-hmm.
Texans D line just took over the game, and then Rush was just uncomfortable the rest of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to ask of this O line right now to change that up. So we will have to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Brad. Score prediction time. What do you got? I assume a number for both teams we don't want to hear as Ravens fans.
Yeah. Do you remember what I said
Just
last week
sad
for the
thought.
Texans? Was it like 27-13 or something like that? Or maybe 24-13? Um,
I do not.
I think I had the Ravens losing by about 10 last week. I'm going to go Rams 30, Ravens
Flat 30. Okay.
16. I guess I don't know if I have too much faith in Harbaugh still or not. I mean, I guess 14 points you're kind of getting blown out, but
Yeah.
I would be pretty surprised if they got beat by 35 points again. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to be outmatched. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think they're at least. I at least think JJ Watt wouldn't call this one a preseason game. You'd hope.
I hope.
So I'm going to go Rams 30, Ravens 16. Get aggressive. Maybe you get a pick that sets up a touchdown at some point. Even if the offense doesn't get going, run Derrick Henry a ton, and we'll see what happens. But obviously, expecting a Rams win.
Yeah, me too. I feel like the line being 7.5 is a little crazy. Wouldn't you think it'd be more? It shows how much like the quiet media has how confident they are in the Ravens still. Like that it could still be that they're asking the public, could it be a 7-point game?
Yeah.
That is just insane to me. I can't see that right now. It's double digits or nothing to me. And I think that the Rams are gonna win. I think it's more like a little more life offensively. They had success in the deep game, and I really only saw it once or twice for the Ravens. So I think that I'll go like again, I can't see the defense stepping up yet. I'm gonna say 34 to 34-22.
Okay.
We show a little more life.
Yeah.
As the secondary isn't, like you said, it's maybe average, and it's all basically schematics. It's not really superstar guys in the secondary anymore for the Rams. That's no diss to them. It's just that they're that well coached. So I don't know. I want to see if I saw 22 points from them, I'd feel pretty good. I bet that would mean the offensive line played pretty, decent, and I bet that'd mean that defense looked the exact same. So we'd be hoping for a different direction going into the bye week, and I'd feel comfortable with that. Would you be on the team that, like, sure, we're both sitting here Ravens fans. We're not going to cheer against them, but would you want a 1-5, or would you be a little more nervous about, Harbaugh job security if we were 2-4?
I'm about to give you a PR answer.
Dang it.
During the game, I can't not root for the Ravens. Like I will never be rooting for the other team while the Ravens are playing on my TV. And that's all I'll say.
That's it? You sound like you're going to have a different part. All right. Well, I kind of agree. I mean, it's impossible to cheer against them, but
yeah.
Man, we're just ready for new blood in total. It's getting kind of a sour topic now with the amount of criticism we're all having, and I just hate how much pressure this is putting on week 8. Like, it's going to feel like a playoff game. Like, that's how terrifying this is now. If you lose that game and it's a freaking shootout or anything close, oh my gosh. We have to Zach Orr has to plan for freaking Ben Johnson. Like,
if he is calling the plays still.
Or whoever it is still has to plan for freaking Ben Johnson and is expected to out game plan him? Come on.
It's either going to be Zach or a defensive coordinator calling his first game of the year. So that Bears game is, everyone hates the term must win. And technically it still wouldn't be a must win because they could still win out after that game. But just in terms of like a philosophical standpoint, if they lose that game, their season's done. Like if you don't go out and beat the Bears after the bye, you're done. So
we sound like such a funny, honestly, I'm going to give it a little Kyle Hamilton kind of cool, a little spoiled because we're so used to having a big bounce back.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting here going, well, there's a chance they could win out still. And it's because we have Lamar Jackson still, but it's like, no 1-4 team is sitting here like we could still win out, or anything worse than 1-4, around 1-4. So it's funny that we still have this thought.
I mean, we've talked about it already, but like Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. Like
Patriots
an okay Ravens team is going 9-2, 8-3 maybe. If you lose to the Rams, you got to go 9-2 though. So
it's just like the marker keeps getting moved every week, and I know it's because it's injuries, and I know it's because we don't have our best player, but this is getting a lot to ask for. It's becoming a far reach, is it not? Maybe I'm being skeptical, but I think the hope meter for me is almost empty. I'm getting scared.
This game doesn't, like, whatever happens on Sunday isn't really going to change anything for me.
No.
I guess if they lose 48-10 again, you'd kind of feel like this might be cooked.
Some of those guys,
but like excluding Matabike, which is an excruciating loss, week 8, this team's going to be as healthy as it's been. Basically, everyone's going to be back, including Ricard, and Emory Jones maybe will be playing. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I think that's all we got for you guys, though. Week 6 preview, Rams Ravens. We're going to be live right after. Well, not right after, but later that night to react to it all post game. You want to join us for that? And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you thought we were entertaining at any point, you should subscribe too. And we do have a free Discord. It'll be in the description. Talk some ball in there with all of us, therapy sessions, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, we appreciate you guys all for watching, and we will talk to you guys soon.
See you guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.